and then go over to the Zoom. On Zoom, if you have a question, please raise your hand at the bottom of the screen. And we will go ahead and get started. Biaggio, Brett, kick us off, please.
Welcome back. This is the first time that we've seen you compete in 2025. Is increased activity something that you're really interested in moving forward in your career?
Absolutely. I hadn't fought since August of last year. So, after this fight, I'd like to get another fight and maybe, God willing, another fight. So, yeah, I'm still a baby in the game, so staying active is super important.
And then what do you know about your opponent and his skill set coming into this matchup?
I know he's more of a striker. I know, he's from Chicago, trains out here, and I know I know there's levels to this, and I don't think he's at that level yet.
And then last week in Kansas, the Lightweight World Tournament semifinals took place. Have you been keeping up with the tournament in your weight class at all, and who do you think will win in the final?
Not really. I did see the Kevin Lee and Gotzi fight. I'm a fan of Gotzi. Like he is a terrific fighter. I actually watched some of his stuff to try to take things, tactics that he does and stuff. But I haven't really kept up, and I'm gonna be honest.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Biaggio. So you're a baby to the game, as you said, and your brother, bit of a baby to boxing, maybe less so. How is that relationship with you and MMA and him in boxing? Do you guys help each other in any way? Feed off each other's energy? What's it like?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my brother. He started boxing when he was 15, and just seeing him, work hard and stay dedicated and be, clean cut was super inspiring to me, even as an older brother. And when I was done with football, seeing him still do that, was still inspiring. And that's another small reason why I went to the gym. And yeah, we live together. It's nice living with another pro fighter because they understand the discipline, the diet, going to sleep on time and waking up early and not going out all the time. So it's really nice. Me and my brother, that's my only brother, so we're very, very close, and it's clutch being, living with another pro fighter who gets it.
Yeah. Well, that's all for me. I wish the two of you the most success.
Thank you.
Hey, I saw an interview you did 10 months ago where you said you're still figuring out how much power to put into every single punch. Is that still something that's true, or have you figured that out?
How much power? What? I'm sorry.
To put into every single punch
Oh, yeah.
when you fight him.
Oh yeah, I'm still figuring that out. With 4-ounce gloves, you don't have to throw 100% to knock somebody out. Even in my last fight, it felt like I threw 20%, and the guy went down. So it's more like precision and timing. That's kind of like what does it. You ask any fighter, that knockout punch, it almost feels like you're punching air. And that means that kinetic energy from the ground up that energy was fully transferred. And kind of like when you're golfing or in baseball, a perfect swing, it feels like it didn't hit, there wasn't contact, it just was flowing. So yes, I'm still learning that. And hopefully, Friday night I'll feel nothing when he goes down.
And then, you're still very young into your fight career. Is this kind of where you expect it to be this early on in your career?
Yeah, well, I still am super grateful to be with the PFL. I mean, I heard about them when I was 0-1 as an amateur, and they saw potential in me when, and they believed in me when I almost didn't even believe in myself. So, I am still surprised to see where I am right now, and God willing, more success comes in the future. I don't expect only success. In this kind of sport, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs too. So I welcome all of it.
And then you look very healthy. How's the weight going right now?
The weight's going good, and that's only because I gradually started going down and I stayed disciplined on my diet. I love food. You know, if you go on my Instagram, the only highlights I have is food. So yeah, just staying disciplined and gradually going down to make sure that the weight cut's not too strenuous. Yeah, that's probably why I look a little healthier.
You said earlier that there's level to this. I think you were going to have, like, I think, one professional fight. Were you expecting having a high competition when you were coming back to fight this year?
I mean, not really. You know, I'm only 2-0. When I say there's levels, I say that because I train at a gym where there's so many high-level guys and so many high-level coaches, and I'm kind of used to that high-level training almost every day, and I don't think that my opponent deals with that kind of high-level training every single day. So that's what I mean by, you know, there's levels to it. I'm not saying I'm like a 15-0 freaking vet, you know, but you know, hopefully one day I'll be there. But that's what I kind of mean by that, is just a high-level training.
What does it mean to you, like, having facing an opponent that probably will have the local support? You like to do that?
I do like that. I do like that. I did that in Atlanta, and the crowd was loud, and then it kind of went quiet. Yeah, I like it. He could be from here, he could be from anywhere. You know, I only come to just fight and show my improvement, really. So, yeah, I welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we will go ahead and go over to Zoom. Mike, did you have a question for Biaggio?
Yes, Biaggio, can you talk a little bit more just about this mindset? I know you said you don't approach the fight game like someone who's 15-0, but the way you talk about your career is like a seasoned veteran. So how do you adapt this mindset about your career and the patience you have?
Yeah, you know, I kind of just let go. I kind of realized that, you know, fighting is just a job. It's not like the most important thing in the grand scheme of things. You know, it's not like every human's purpose of life is fighting and doing good in the cage. So I feel like that has a lot to do with my mindset. You know, I believe in God, and I think that the bigger picture, I feel like this is a small thing in a greater picture. So I feel like that helps a lot with my mindset. You know, in football too, there was a lot of media that was going on when I was a kid. A lot of, you know, talking to the camera, a lot of interviews, a lot of that stuff. So I feel like that helps a lot with the media side. As far as the sport of MMA, you know, I'm still learning and I'm still growing, and I'm still developing myself, you know, stylistically, technically, and yeah, you know, I've just accepted that. That's kind of basically how my mindset goes, and you know, how I think, really. Yeah, I'm super excited for the future. I don't even know what the future holds. That's one thing that you won't hear from a lot of fighters is, I don't know. You know, they always say, oh, I'm the best, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, you know, I don't know. I'll be here to say it first. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen Friday. You know, I trust in who created everything. So, yeah.
I absolutely love your mindset. Last one for me. We've seen the PFL kind of go through a change, you know, throughout the roster and the format and all that. Excuse me. You're one of the guys who they can really build and develop, you know, their long-term plans around. What does it mean to you to be part of the homegrown talent that PFL wants to take to the top with them?
Man, I'm super grateful. You know, sometimes I sit back and think, why me? Like, what did I do to deserve this kind of treatment? Or I don't know, man. I'm just super grateful for it. You know, the PFL is a great company. You know, they did something where I went to the mosque and they had like my fights playing on the TV, and we all prayed together and ate food together, and I mean, they didn't have to do that. So it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel special, and sometimes I sit back and I'm like, why? Like, what did I do to deserve all of this? But, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I'm just super grateful for the PFL.
Kayla.
Hey, Kayla with the Cage Rock Podcast. Kind of piggybacking off of what Mike just said, you have been with PFL for a long time, and you've seen all the changes through amateur now being a pro. What do you think about the changes going on in the World Tournament, and can you see yourself being in the World Tournament sometime soon?
I think all the changes are being made right. You know, a tournament is a big deal. You know, I'm only 2-0. I think that by the time I get to me going into the tournament, that'll happen when it's supposed to happen. You know, I don't know if that's soon, or I don't know if that's, you know, maybe 5 fights from now. I would assume 5 fights, because these guys have a lot of pro fights under their belt when they're entering the tournament. But yeah, I have no idea. You know, I trust Coach Dennis. You know, so if whenever he thinks I'm ready to compete at that kind of level, then that's when I'll do it. You know, yeah, the PFL is making all the right changes. They're doing all the right things.
Also, last question, just a little fun question. You said your social media is a lot about food. After a weight cut or after your fight, do you have a go-to food that you love after each one?
Yeah, after weigh-ins, I always, like, my go-to is pancakes. You know, I love pancakes. There's a lot of carbs in it. There's a lot of sugar, so I like to get those nutrients back. And yeah, my go-to is pancakes. That's after every weigh-ins, it's pancakes. I'll say pancakes again because I love pancakes.
We can't go on pancakes, that's for sure. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Shady. Shady, you there?
Hello, am I on mute now?
Yep, you're good.
Sorry about that. Shady Shay with MMA Dungeon. Biaggio, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good, good. 2 pro fights, you're at Extreme Couture. It's rare to see somebody with so few pro fights but at such a killer gym. Talk to me about how you got tapped in there and what it's like to roll with some of the greatest in the game.
Yeah, so when I was done with college football, it was kind of like that what now moment. You know, a lot of athletes have dealt with that when they're playing a sport for such a long time, and then it's kind of just ends. They get that what now moment, and that's kind of where I was at. You know, I didn't know what to do with my life. I mean, I felt like there was so much expected of me with football, and you know, Ali's grandson. There's so much expectation, so I felt like I had let down myself, my family. I was working at Adidas. I interned as a assistant strength and conditioning coach. I was driving for a real estate team, and I was trying to figure my life out, find out what I wanted to do. And one of my friends was training at Extreme Couture, and you know, almost every day he would call me and tell me these stories about sparring and all these things. And he's like, you gotta come, you gotta come. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come, because I was always a fight fan, you know. And I wanted to stay in shape. I didn't want to get, you know, obese after football. So I came to Extreme Couture to just, you know, stay in shape, and started doing the kickboxing class, and it was fun. I started, you know, liking it, and it ended up becoming the only thing I looked forward to every day. And that's initially how I found Extreme Couture, and now I have a whole career. So it's crazy how that works.
Thank you, sir. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else on Zoom before we let Biaggio go? All right, all good?
Thank you, guys.
All right, Biaggio, thank you so much. Appreciate your time today, brother.
Thank you.